All right, guys, so we need to talk about the keto carnivore macros because a lot of you guys are getting it wrong. And I will go more extensively into the macros, but this is just a quickie. Now, as you see right behind me, we have beef. And beef is the most important type of animal protein and fat, there's a fatty cut, to have on a keto and keto carnivore. So keto omnivore and keto carnivore, but more specifically keto carnivore. And the thing that you need to understand is if you're going to have something as lean as this, you would make this into a meat broth for the potassium. So the less fat, the more lean meat, the more potassium. And if we take the cut next to it right behind me there, that's going to have less potassium than that one. So this is really what we want to be ketotic. That nice marbling effect. Okay. That's what we want. Now, a lot of people are trying to get their fats and do keto carnivore. I'm just eating really fatty cuts of meat. It's just not enough fat. So this looks like about 8 to 10 ounces. And yeah, in 8 and 10 ounces, you're going to have about perhaps 60 to 70 grams of fat. But you're not supposed to be eating 8 to 10 ounces of meat because a lot of that, which your body cannot use, will convert back into glucose via gluconeogenesis. Now, people used to argue with me in the beginning about this, but now they don't because they're using glucometers. They're like, oh my God, my blood sugar shoots up real high when I eat too much meat. Now, there's another reason why your blood sugar might shoot up. It's because you have hypochlorhydria with low stomach acid, or you chew too fast. So make sure you work on the HCl levels, which that's a whole nother freaking video, which I think that'll be my next one. And then also make sure that you eat very slowly. So it goes more in a tempo and slowly through the digestive tract so you don't overwhelm, the small intestine too quickly. Now, the kinds of meats that you're going to have on a carnivore, keto carnivore, is obviously anything that's red meat. So that includes lamb, it includes beef, it includes bison or something like elk for the potassium in a broth. It would also include things like pork. Then you're going more towards the other types of meat, which is chicken thighs, wings, drums, anything that's a fatty cut, not the lean, because the more animal fat, the more likely you're going to keto adapt. Now, the next thing you want to have is if you're going to have fish, try to get as fresh fish, wild caught as you can, because when fish, or freeze it right away, because if fish hangs out in your refrigerator too long, it collects bacteria very easily, and a lot of you guys are dealing with histamine intolerance. So essentially, we want all animal fatty cuts. Now, I've explained this a million times. For women, you want between 45 and 60 grams of protein. But really, if you have 60 grams, you're over 5 feet 10 and higher, okay? You're not going to be like 5'9", 5'8", 5'7", 6 and shorter. Or I think it's 175 to 188 centimeters, something like that. Or some women get up to 190 and 190 centimeters. Now, when it comes to, so the sweet spot is around 55. Now, for those who don't like breakfast, you're going to have about 2 ounces. And let's say if we have 2 ounces of this, we're going to only have about probably around 2 ounces will make about 12 to 14. So you could have 3 ounces of a fatty cut for breakfast. If you're not hungry, you can go down to 2, which will take you down from 8 to 12 grams of protein per serving. And I mean in total protein and not in weight. Now, in ounces, 2 ounces in grams for the rest of the Europeans is going to be around, let me see, 40 to 50-ish grams in weight. Now, that's if you're not hungry, but you are going to eat a breakfast. On keto carnivore, you have to keep the fats up really, really, really high, or else you risk the problem of not producing enough ketones. Now, I'm going to leave it there at that. With men, you want between 60 and about 90 grams of protein per day, and that's in total protein, and each meal is probably broken up to about 25 to 26 grams of protein, depending on your activity level, muscle, lean mass, and your total health, if you lift or not, and your lifestyle and your age. Yes, those things really matter. Otherwise, we want the fats 200 grams to 350, 400, depending on your size. That's keto carnivore. Pretty simple. Salt, meat broth for the potassium. If you need fiber, you can get it from tendons. You can get it from fish bones. You can even get it from eggshells from time to time. People don't trip out there because I think it's calcium chloride. You can get it from, even though there's oxalates in the fibrous parts, you really shouldn't need fiber to poop. But this is in the beginning for those who are trying to go keto carnivore and they're developing loose stool for the lack of fiber. You can get your fiber through animal connective tissue and shells and bones and chicken bones. Chicken bones too. You can just grind them. You dry them out for like 5 hours, slow cooked in the oven, and then you just grind them and pulverize them and sprinkle it on your food. And make sure you get the salt and make sure you take magnesium. Now I gotta go. Next video. Peace.